This episode is sponsored by the HMD Rosetta EQ. Use the code audionerds for $10 off at the helpmedevon.com store right now. Hurry. Now, on to your episode. Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Devvon Terrell. Welcome to the Audio Nerds podcast for audio nerds like yourself. Please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and make sure one lucky person in that comment section is going to get that VIP Gold Edition Rosetta EQ or compressor. Please leave your @name in the actual comment so we can hit you on Instagram and say that you won. My name is Devvon Terrell. I'm a Pro Tools user, and I'm very proud of that. And please don't say sheesh. I have good therapy. I have a good credit score, and I just feel like that's what my DAW brings to the table.
Because that monthly payment should add to your credit.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie. All right, you got that. We do pay monthly. Okay, that's fine.
Damn, I'm not gonna lie. Pro Tools, Waves, UAD. Yeah, I should be like, my shit should be like 700 right now.
That is literally the price of your DAW.
I'm on. That was.
Yeah, I got you. I killed you.
That's a great transition because I'm actually Ableton, and it is actually egregious that we have to pay that much. Where's the student prices at?
You keep saying E words and trying to make them A words. It's
egregious.
Actually, I know egregious.
It's actually
egregious,
and it's actually egregious.
Actually,
that's fine.
Actually egregious.
There is something to say about aptitude and GPAs and FL Studio users.
Oh boy, see, I wasn't trying to.
I feel like
tell us who you are though. I'd love to know.
I feel like we the college dropouts, man. It's the college dropout.
That was
LJ.
fire.
Come on,
that was fire.
You did drop out of college. That's true.
Is there
You said that's literally what you just said.
But like,
well-educated college dropout. I go by the name of LJ, and I am an FL Studio user.
Yes, and when you see us in this room, we always have a very, very special guest, someone that I'm really appreciative to take the time out of their day, their busy schedule, and has a plethora of information and just records under their belt that I'm really excited to just kind of touch on and talk about. Would you like to do the honors, my brother?
Come on, of course I would love to, man, because this guy, he's inspired a lot of my production when it comes down to instrumentation. That's a very, very big thing, and he accentuates on that. So you've heard him on Chris Brown records, Kanye, Kalani, Frank Ocean, and these are hits. These ain't no album cuts. These are hits. My guy Mars.
Make some noise for Mars one time, man. Yeah. Now, Mars, thank you for being here, man. Like seriously, dog. It really means a lot when we get people like of your caliber, like from a musician standpoint too, to be on the show. One thing we always ask everyone that comes here, and I'm really excited about this one. We said it off camera. What was your DAW journey? So, like, what was like the first DAW you used, or even if it was like, you know, just straight up consoles and stuff, and we can age ourselves on this podcast, to where you are now? Like, what was your DAW journey?
So of course, as a musician, it was, you know, live first. So I was introduced to sequencing through the Trinity Plus. It was a Korg synthesizer.
Oh, gotcha.
So I would play it at church, and that's how I kind of like start getting into production, you know. So I just accidentally pressed the record thing one time and sequence, boom. So I started, you know, figuring that out. Then by the time I got to the Underdog studio and started working with them, they had only computers and keyboards.
Got you.
So I was like, yo, where's the MPC? They like, nah, we ain't doing that here.
Right.
Every room and every, you know, anywhere you see a keyboard is Logic in front of it.
Yeah.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, I'm not learning, like.
Right.
And at that time, I had a little bit, you know, going, so I was like, man, I need an MPC.
Right.
You know, I thought I was going to be able to get it, which I didn't. So after like a week or so, you know, I learned Logic, and that's how I like, you know, start getting into like really production. Yeah.
Right.
Because I pretty much did take you down on accident, like learning. I did take you down learning Logic.
Wow.
You know so
got
like
you. Okay.
That's a gem.
We're going to touch that.
Yeah, we're going to touch that.
That was crazy.
Finish your journey. Let him finish his journey, though.
So boom. So after Logic, I just was searching for a certain sound. Like my drums, I had to do too much to like make my drums sound like how I wanted, and it still sounded like too compressed. So I started using Reason, and then it just changed everything.
Right.
Because I didn't really have to like, I don't have to do too much. I don't do compression at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just, sometimes I may tweak the sounds, but.
Right, but do you even stay away from compression? What makes you steer away from compression, by the way? Is it, what is the reason?
In Reason, it's like its own sound. So if I'm pushing the kick, I know like if it's in the red, I know how it sounds though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if it sounds good, you know, I don't mind red lights. Where normally in Logic or any other DAW, it's like no red lights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even you know when I'm like teaching or like suggesting things to people that ask, I'm like, always start your music at negative, you know, halfway below 0.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just
For
so you have have a sense of where the drums can sound, the characters, like the frequency. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that way it's not super muddy.
Right.
So like that's why the compression thing just didn't really make sense. It's like it already has its own sound.
Right. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you're obviously, you know, as a musician, you're actually doing a good job of just your sound selection and stuff like that.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I would like to tell you that you do. So yeah, I can understand that. So wow, so you landed in Reason, and the reason why I thought that was so big is because
don't even ask me how.
That happens a lot.
Make some noise. We got our first Reason guy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
For real. Show us some other Reason.
That's how he got notified because he commented on our Daw Wars. Clip.
Facts.
He was like, man, victory lap, 90% was done to Reason.
And boy, did the comments, did those kids go, I told you. Like, we got a lot of people that follow us that are like galvanized when it comes to like Reason and stuff. But obviously we was like, well, who uses Reason? You know, even like on a, not saying a more professional level, but just someone that we can actually point to and say, yo, this record was done there, this record was done there. So it's really interesting to hear someone done the Reason. Is Reason still to this day like very rack based? Like, yeah, it's still like that.
It is, but so like when I started using Reason, I guess it was rack based. Well, yeah, it was rack based. It was no like VSTs or third party, but you know that's incorporated now, so it's just so much easier for your workflow because you know I'm just Serato sample. I don't need the warp. I got warp now, because I got Serato sample, and then
you're just off and running, right, and stuff like that. Heck yeah.
Hey man, you guys, I want to talk about your switch or growth rather from being a musician in the church to becoming a producer, because I started as a musician in the church as well. And it took me a while it feels like once you know how to play something and you can make a beat, if you can put some drums together, it's like, I'm a producer. But when did you see the switch between the two in yourself?
That's a great question. To be honest, it was like a period of time that I went through where I just felt like I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? I was making beats and doing all on the Trinity I was talking about.
Right.
And I'm like sending CDs to Warren Campbell and, you know, Nissan Stewart, like some of my, you know, bigger homies and cousins in the game. And they was just like, man, your ideas are dope, but, you know, once you figure it out, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much. You know? So I had to go through a process of figuring out how to not only still implement the musicality, but to keep it, you know, fun and still an experience so people can digest it. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the journey. But at the same time, I had to figure out, like, did I want to be more, at this time, did I want to be more of a producer or more of a musician? So, like, that was the thing. And I was like, I love, like, making musical history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love playing. Like, I could play every day, but it's like, that's me playing right now. Nobody knows. It's not gonna change nobody's life. But me playing something and it comes out tomorrow, that would inspire somebody that's like, dang, I never thought about that, or you know, this song or this words, or you know what I'm saying? Like something a part of what I did. So I think that encouraged me more, you know what I'm saying, to focus more on production. So it was easier to kind of like just implement the musicality and just focus more on like, okay, what aspects? All right, now it's about the song. Now it's about writing. I need to know all of these things. So as a producer, I can tell you why this doesn't work, or why this should work, or you know what I'm saying? So
you filling out the space and stuff like that, and like kind of learning, I guess, like in you learning like the overall process, it kind of helped you from a production side to be like, leave room for the vocal, or like not doing too much. Because that's funny. I know a lot of producers, young producers, suffer with that, where it's like you may be doing too much, where artists are here and be like, this is great, but I can't like find myself within it and stuff like that.
We, for some reason, we all go through a phase where it feels like we're doing it for our peers, not for the listening public. We're making beats that the producers will go crazy. They're like beat battles. When you look at some of them beat battles beats, it's like, these are crazy, but if I try to spit a 16 on
I've never listened to a beat battle and said, oh, I want to get on, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm about to, I feel
it's the perfect record.
Yeah, never,
Or like engineers who like we'll get a mix back and it'll sound good. Like we were just talking to Omar,
Yeah.
where the vocal will sound great,
Right.
but it's just like I'm an engineer. I gotta do something to it just for in case the engineers ask me or whatever. It's like
Right.
it's an ego thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But also once you shift your focus to the viewing public and your audience, that's when you realize it, because the average lady going to work is not gonna care about if that 808 is a spins or a Ryder 808. You know what I mean?
Right. She just going off a feeling. You saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You mentioned Warren Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
the GOAT. Oh my gosh! If you do not know, this is a gospel music legend. He's a music legend, period, and he's done a lot of secular. But his gospel hits, and you were a part of one of the biggest bops. Like, talk about bops. It's not no choir record. No, this is a bop. It's Dietrich Haddon. It's Mary Mary, and it's Ruben Studdard.
My mother's gonna lose her mind when she sees this.
Is one of them joints.
Right.
Yeah.
Just talk about that process. How did that come about?
I was signed to Warren around that time, and he was working. Of course, he had Mary Mary, and it was just he already had everything kind of going, but he just basically called me and was like, "Yo, I want to bring you in on something. Just make it fresh. Make you know what I'm saying? Like make your shit. Add your shit to it.
Right.
So it was like I came in and I was just like super young, super just do whatever. I'm just doing the first thing I heard, and it was like, okay, cool. That was, and he works very intentionally. Like, this is the plan. These are the type of songs we need to write. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has the sonics, like what he wants the project to sound like. Everything is already mapped out.
Right.
So it's kind of easier, as well as a great learning experience to see how, instead of just making beats.
Right.
It's like this song isn't the same as this song, or stuff like that. So it was dope to be able to be a part of that record, because that was like, I think the single and the like, you know what I'm saying? Especially at that time.
To this day, man, that shit, bro. I do want to take it back a little bit to that era. One of the biggest records in your catalog is obviously Stronger, and sometimes producers, musicians, and just anybody a part of a record, sometimes you be like, you hear revisions need to be made or whatever. You get scared, like, yo, y'all gonna take out what I did or whatever. And that song specifically, is well documented that song went through a lot of stages, a lot of processes, mixing and everything. So I wanted to know how that feeling was, how that record came about, but also how was that feeling knowing that the song is going through a lot? Did you ever feel a bit afraid that what your contribution, which was the synthesizers, am I correct? Yeah, your contribution would be deleted,
lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess I'll go, like from the end and then
got you and then trail back, right?
So like, I'm watching everything in real time, just like y'all at home, and I'm like,
this is working.
He's taking it to Timberland,
right?
I'm like on the edge of my, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, goodness gracious, like, because at that point it's just like, it's up to Timberland just to be like, take these scores out,
kind of thing, And
it's like that fast. It ain't no argument, no nothing. Like I came to you for your opinion, so Timberland saying take the chord, So it was like, okay, cool. He just want to work on the drums. All right, cool. Boom, boom. So it was dope to be able to live through the whole process.
Right.
But the actual process was the craziest thing I've witnessed by far. And it was crazy because, like, I think my expectations it was crazy anyway because he just called me.
Right.
So when I got there, long story short, I'm walking in the room, but I'm hearing like this techno music, like from the time I walk in the studio. So I'm like going closer to the room, and it's in his room. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, what is? And I've never heard Daft Punk. Get me? So he's playing that, and I'm like, this nigga's on some techno. So I'll just go in the corner, roll up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I stayed in there and watched him make the whole thing. So it's like, okay, I'm just chilling, smoking, and then I'm like, wait, am I high? Like I am high, but like this is crazy. Like, because I'm watching him turn certain sounds from something like the snare was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how he's finding this, how he chopped up everything, working, then like going from that and then just boom, like establishing the kick, like establishing the tempo. He established the tempo and then went back to, I'm like, this is OD. Like he did most people would do the sample and then you build the drums around it.
Right.
He already had it in his head.
Right.
Wow.
So he's like chopping it up, and then once he got the chops, he start boom, 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 like with the kick, and I'm like,
you like, oh, I did not see that.
this is back. Yeah, I'm like, this is back.
So
then
back.
he put everything together. I'm like, oh my God, and I'm just wild. So by the time he gets the whole like sequence,
Right.
he's like mid.
Right.
Hey Mars, you hear something?
Okay.
You did what you had to
I'm
do.
like, hell yeah, you know. They give Mars a keyboard. He got me either a motif or a phantom.
Okay.
And what you hear is like literally what I like. That was just
That was
what I
just
heard.
what you heard and what was played, and that was it.
And that's even the more crazy part. Going back to what you're saying, because Kanye is super like, he knows what he wants, but it's a different thing than Warren Campbell. Warren is gonna, hey, you mind if you
work this around?
Kanye be like, nah, Star Wars. And you got to figure that out. You got to figure out what Star Wars means.
Okay. Yeah. That's funny, bro, dog. So,
it's funny
but yeah, go ahead.
It's funny because in hindsight, that those chords on the record mean a lot. So
it's the record.
For that to be like in your... to think about it, like, yo, the chords almost didn't make it or could have not made it or something like that.
Right.
Is insane. So kudos. That's one of my favorite... No, that's my favorite album. Right next to Thriller of all time.
For sure.
Wow.
Same. For both me and him go back and forth on that all the time, dog. So, like, you know, when it comes to just you with keys and things of that nature, I know that you obviously probably get inspired, cut at home and stuff like that. Like, is there, like, what is your setup, for instance? Like, when you're just laying down ideas and stuff like that, like, what's your setup?
That's a great question. So, I have, at my studio, I have it like a spaceship, literally. It's like a cockpit and pause. And stupid. And like, it's like, you know, at my chair, it's like, I got my Mackie right here. It's just a regular Mackie mixer.
Okay.
For my drums, snake to go through. I got my drums in the booth. I got an aux coming out of there just in case. Right here, I have my my auto-tune PV mixer, so I can run a mic live. So everything outside where I'm at is live.
Right.
And then I have my Zoom mixer. That's an interface for everything that's live.
Gotcha.
So like all my keyboards, I got like maybe 4 or 5 keyboards over there. My DJ set up for Serato stems, and any ideas.
Right.
And then my laptop set up right here, Reason, and then I got Reason on my main computer. And then my Rose to the right.
Wow.
So like everything, and my TV. So everything in the room is
It's
live.
just
and
live.
It's going into Reason.
Wow.
Into Reason. So
TV, everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the auto-tune PV, like all of that stuff is coming right into Reason centrally. In that
Yeah.
thing.
Because
Wow.
I mean, like, and my thing, the reason why I did that is because a lot of times we just work. Like we get to it and it's like you don't want to lose. I always say you don't want to lose. You don't want to be the person that lose the $1 million idea if you don't have $1 million to give it to.
Right.
So it's like I want to be able to always have everything live and record. So I start going to the keyboard. Like you playing something on the keyboard, and I hear something. It's like I should be able to record it right now.
Right.
You know? So I got the PV right there. So we ain't got to wait for the auto-tune. Reason is already up.
Right.
We can record in Reason while he's loading Pro Tools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Funny, we was talking to Rance recently. We had spoke to him the other day, and he was talking about how back in the day, like, he was like, yeah, man, like, we kind of opened up that conversation of, like, workflow. And he was saying that, back in the day, bro, we would just be taking turns on laptops. You know, like, y'all be switching laptops out and just doing it. So when you say that in my head, I feel like that's you, like, all right, I want everything laid out.
Exactly.
If you want to play keys and stuff like that. How important is that workflow? Because you collab a lot, like, with a lot of people. How important has that been for your career, just having that workflow and ease of use of, like, okay, I want everybody to be able to work, like, at the same time to get ideas, like jamming and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's essential because, like I said, a lot of songs come up like that.
Okay.
You know, so, like, if you don't have time to think, a lot of time you can allow the magic just to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, like, and that's what people that are around me, I'm like, if I start getting to, because there's no such thing as writer's block. Let me just say that right
Okay.
now. So you either thinking too much or you're just about to do a whack song.
Gotcha.
And like people are afraid, like Ego, we was talking about earlier.
Right.
They're afraid to say they're about to do a whack song. So they want to try to keep making it better and try to figure out how to make the whack song better. Just finish the whack song and then do a better song.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, that's how I feel when you're walking in the studio, somebody might be like going through some shit and it's like I play some chords and they automatically hear a cadence and like we live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can record everything there.
Right.
Buddy, the last time he recorded, the first time he recorded at my studio, we recorded like that. And he wanted to record the other day. And they calling me like, yo, he said he want to record the first, like how he did the first. I'm like, well, it's live. Like, just do everything live. Because they thinking he gonna go in the booth.
And just do it, right.
So it's the same thing, you know, sometimes it's just comfort, you know. You could be on the couch just kicking it, coming up with the song.
Feels more natural that way, like everything comes together and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to fast forward to 2017.
Okay.
And the famous Victory Lap sessions at Paramount. Talk a little bit about that. You said a lot of it was done in Reason. Were multiple of you guys using Reason? I know Rance going on and
Ableton
on about.
junk. He was going crazy with Ableton, dog. Like,
that good shit.
I mean, to each his own. So all of the like original initial beats were done in Reason.
Gotcha.
So like everything that Mike and Keys and I touched was done in Reason.
Gotcha.
Mike and Keys and I touched the majority of the record.
Right.
That's
just what it is, right?
So you take those songs. If it was, you seeing the records where we playing over the records and we doing. You might be using Ableton for your sound, which I don't think that was really happening. Not when I was around, because we was in Reason.
Right.
So we was using the. If you go to YouTube and you see Nip in there smoking. They on Mike and Keys' computer and Reason.
Right. Gotcha.
Oh, they use Reason as well. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm discovering
Why
this
you think
right now. Yeah. He said, come on, baby. He's like, look, like, come on, dog. Like, of course,
That was the sound.
Right.
And a lot of those sounds are stock sounds too.
Wow.
Wow.
That's the sound of Reason.
Holy.
The
sound of Reason.
It is.
I remember I told you.
Something like Dedication, which is probably one of my favorite beats on the album. Damn, like just to think about that. Like,
so I can't give everything away, but like,
of course.
So that last sound that's playing at the end where I'm playing the chords, that's the Rhodes in Reason.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is the stock road, like Rhodes in
in
Reason.
Yes.
Oh,
And
wow.
Are those the same, those stock plugins, are those the same plugins they give in the Reason Plus bundle subscription thing? Where we can
everything's stock.
Wow.
We just kind of like, after we go in the box, after we go in Pro Tools, you can kind of shape things a little bit more, or add, certain tails and little shit like that. But everything was coming straight out of Reason.
Wow.
All the drums, the reason why the drums sound like they sound is because they were coming out of Reason. The only drums that didn't were the songs that other producers did.
Right. Oh, okay, I get
like
what you're
Jake
saying.
One or, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
Right.
But the other 70% of the album
was out of Reason with stock sounds.
Wow.
Of course, our sounds, but you know what I'm saying, the drums and stuff. But like the sounds, like that gangsterly, like rap nigga sound, that's a Reason lead.
Wow.
Whoa.
Holy. All right.
That's
I'm giving y'all too much.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
I'm copping this bundle.
Don't be shitting on Reason when y'all ain't got no reason.
Yeah, I ain't got no reason to sit
bundle.
on
No reason,
You know what I'm saying? So I want to say,
That's crazy.
what was, because we hear a lot about these sessions and we, it's something that, I didn't even know it was on YouTube, like a bunch of the videos.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm
some
about
of it
to go
is
back,
like,
yeah.
I seen a while ago, something that was a victory. It might be on the 1500 page.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it might be on the 1500 or nothing page.
Okay.
So what was one of the like sessions where y'all just made, like, it was one of your favorite sessions from that block?
I think, what's crazy is like the same song that I was talking about, now that I think about it, when he recorded it was when I felt like the most excited about it. And he recorded it like years ago. Like,
wow. Okay.
way before, you know what I'm saying? Probably around like Crenshaw time or something like that.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Timeless.
And like the way that he like went in the booth and like sang and did the whole, like he wanted to sing it, and I'm like, okay, Nip, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And like, he like, nah, cuz y'all stepping y'all shit up, cuz I gotta step my shit up too, cuz. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it made me be like, dang, okay, like this nigga really taking this shit like serious. He's not just trying to like just rap, you know, because we've seen the, you know, we were his only producers. We see that was our artist.
Right.
So, you know, we've seen the whole growth even before we was working with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to study the artist before you work with him.
Right.
So it was like to be, you know, become friends, become brothers, and then he looking up at us and he like, yo, I'm gonna keep this plaque in my room just for inspiration and shit.
Yeah,
That's why I bought all Nips plaques.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he was the main one that was like, I got him on the on Tip's record, on Tip's album, Trouble, Heavy as the Head.
Yeah.
And I actually end up being on the song too, playing the keys on the song. DJ Toomp produced it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
And Victoria Monet was on the song as well.
Wow. He's been around for so long, man. I know you seeing her progression is wild.
Crazy.
As shit. Like,
and it's wonderful. Shout out to her too. She's doing amazing.
Right.
But yeah, it was just dope, like being able to see, like, you know, the progression, because we both are taking it's a musical marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a brothership. So to be able to like convey how this person feels musically, and for him to be able to put the, you know, the lyrics to it, to not only say how he feels, but to inspire other people, and give people a map and a blueprint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, you got Nip singing, dog. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, even when I first
he
heard
did that though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what made it fire. I can't even take credit. You know, I don't know what everybody else doing, but you know, he did that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just dope for me to be able to experience and be able to like, you know, add to his vision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy how that came about.
It's amazing how integral to his sound you guys are, and the fact that it was kept around after he passed. R.I.P. Nip. And one of my favorite songs from him, and this is me being an East Coast guy, getting onto Nipsey post Crenshaw. But that what it feels like. And I'm of course East Coast. I'm New York. Hove is my favorite rapper.
We love him on the East, though.
What it feels like,
Facts.
vocals aside, that beat is one of probably my favorite 1500 beats.
Right.
Because them drums is insane. I just want to. Was that something done?
That's the reason. And that's Michael Keys, myself, Rance. Let me not cut off your question. Was that something that was done with? Or
was it done prior to his passing, or was it really, really brought to life after with like additional production?
Yeah, so the story of that is we initially made the beat for Jay-Z.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So like, you know, as you can hear, we like just put our foot in, like we was like, all right, this gotta go crazy, boom, 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 all the shit. And I think end up sending it to Guru. You know, Jay-Z had it. And fast forward many years later, they're working on the movie.
Yeah, Judas and the Black
Judas, yeah, exactly.
Got you, okay.
So they like, all right, cool. Let's do this for Nip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we like, yo, Nip, they want a song with Nip and Jay.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, so we seeing the same beat that we seeing.
Right, initially.
Yeah, Jay.
Right.
And it was like,
That's it.
Yeah.
with this, it's over.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it was like, you know, already having like the song and already having some of the, you know, pieces, of course, just, you know, helped enhance it. But yeah, after we did that and everything was solidified, then we went in the studio and did like all the posts.
Right.
Because it's like,
Flushed it out.
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like the last 2 minutes of that post rapping is just a cinematic.
Oh, yeah.
thing, man. It feels, was that recorded on a different beat from Nip, or was that on that beat?
No, it was, I believe, you know what? I believe the first version that we sent was the same version that Nip was on.
Got you.
Wow.
Okay, so that was true to the...
So like,
okay.
So, you know, we just had to be able to like rearrange the music, bring it back to life, you know what I'm saying, for the 4 or 5 years later.
Right.
But we did have a session that's definitely on YouTube as well, where we just, you know, went in and filmed everything, like doing all the post. Guru was there, had Terrence come through.
Wow.
BJ the Chicago Kid is on it,
wow.
Marsha Ambrosius is on it. The original song, I'm not sure how long that version is, but the original song is, I believe, 9 minutes.
Sheesh.
Oh, wow. Okay,
It's
gotcha.
not too far from that. Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6. I let that play every time. Who was
let it
singing
rock.
that? And it was
We had her,
fucking shit. Wow.
James Fauntleroy,
Yeah.
BJ the Chicago Kid.
I hear BJ now that you say that.
Yeah, word. When he said, I was like surprised.
That's amazing. And when it out of curiosity, do you think there'll be more moments like that where y'all get to work and go back on some of the work y'all did while he was with us?
Like for me personally, I'm with whatever the family want to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I just, out of respect of, everything they want to do, I'm just here for whenever they call. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
understood.
I'm glad to be a part of the legacy, and I'm glad to, be able to properly respect and carry the torch for what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Understand.
That makes sense.
When it comes to that stuff, I always feel like, when you guys get together, you guys have such a pocket. You know what I mean? Like with your music and stuff like that. So that's why I was so interested, and I was glad you asked, as far as if Nip recorded it, at least within that pocket of sound, because it does feel natural. Like those records still, even posthumously, just still feel very natural to him and stuff like that. What would you say when you guys get together is your signature, like as a collective? Like I have my ideas, right? But what would you say how y'all would identify y'all sound collectively, like when y'all get together and stuff like that?
You mean like the sound of Nip, or
just y'all? No, just like you and
like
the whole.
Me, 1500.
Yep,
okay.
you. Hell yeah.
I think just like, like really musical LA gangster shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
Church is in there somewhere.
Yes.
Like real musical, I think that come with the real musical.
Yeah.
But the foundation is the church. So I would say real church musical gangster shit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you so much, because to me, y'all have such a pocket. Like when I'm listening to a lot of y'all production, I'll say to myself, like, whoa, like this ain't no like middle of the mall. Like,
no.
This wasn't made like one guy in a DAW. Like, you know what I mean? I can really feel like the musicianship on y'all. So that's why I asked, because I was wondering, like, I feel like y'all don't even realize, or even notice it. It's just, that's just what y'all come from, like, solely, you know what I mean, to start. So I'm a big fan of, and I'm just saying this out loud as a statement, I'm just a really big fan of y'all pocket and swing, as far as what y'all bring to the table, and then how you guys use your instrumentation to also keep the record interesting. Yeah. Like, I could tell you're working in Reason, and, everybody else is working in different DAWs, but y'all also listen to the song, correct me if I'm wrong, like, what else does this need? Like, how can we keep carrying it along? So when it comes to you structuring, right, with all of you guys producing, like, how does that process go for you? Like, are you guys like jam session, let it be like, okay, this is like the core of the record, and then how do you say, okay, here's a B section, like, how does that process work for y'all with all of y'all like kind of working and stuff like that?
It depends on what type of session it is. But if it's just one artist and we're all working with that one artist, we started playing what we call musical chairs, which is like, I'll start, or Brody may start the beat. Let's say Brody start the beat, and then whenever he get up, like if I already hear something and Rans don't, then I'll sit down, I'll do what I hear, and I'll get up. But we always leave space for we just do whatever the first thing we hear, and leave space for something else, and then he gonna do what he hear, and it's like 99% of the time is not really like a conversation of like, I don't fuck with that. I think it's more of like all of us individually studying to try to be the best producers individually, and then as we came together as a collective, it was already things we just knew not to do. And then as we're learning each other, we know like, oh, he's fire at, maybe I should let Brody play the bass. Maybe I should let Chuck play the guitar. I'm over here struggling. Like, we start seeing people's strong suits, and it's just easier to, let them do their shit or not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just like, because I have records where I'm playing, show me what you got. I initially played the bass on.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So back to that, like,
Chuck is always late. Rest in peace. But like, it's stuff like that. But when Chuck walked in, it's like, oh shit,
Chuck, here's the bass, Chuck. What do you think?
For sure. He's doing all the doom, 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 doom. All that, that's Uncle Chuck.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to rewind to that and bring it back to when that happened. I could imagine, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first like joint that went with as far as hits are concerned with 1500.
As far as like as a band,
yeah,
gotcha,
for sure.
How did that come to be, and what was that feeling? Just knowing like, well, we got this not only a dope record, but the single, because we see the video of the guy playing the drums all the time.
Dog,
it's so inspiring. So I would love to.
Shout out to my guy Bam. It was dope, man. Like how it came about, we was working with Just Blaze, and he was working on Detox.
Oh wow. Okay.
And shit never came out, so of course I could say it.
Yep, it's all good.
But yeah, so he was or supposed to be working on Detox,
Right.
working for Dre, but he had called us up there and we walked in and he had that sample, like the that was already going.
Wow.
So he was like, "Yo, I got something I need y'all to kill. Like this is boom, boom."
Right.
And as soon as we heard it, we just went like crazy. Like we literally went crazy. Like Bam went straight to the drums.
Wow.
I went straight to the organ. Like
Right.
we just kept.
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying? And then like it was like everybody was. It's footage of that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lex Luger, all like the. I call them my little homies, but no disrespect. All my the younger homies, they like, yo, bro, I used to watch that video all the time. Like you don't know how much you've been like contributed. Like nigga, if it wasn't for that video, I probably wouldn't be making beats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was dope to be able to like document that at that time. But the feeling of that was just crazy because it was like, we could finally do what we do.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what the fuck? We doing something, we doing church for Dr. Dre?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it was like,
a band.
Yeah, we was in heaven. So, and then, after turning it in, we just did it, forgot about it. And Just Blaze called me one day. I remember I was right up here at the street walking to Thrifties to get some ice cream. And he called me, bro, and he was like, yo, listen to this.
Wow.
Phone
That's fire.
And you like,
I'm hearing Jay-Z like, I'm Michael Jordan. I'm like, yo, we did it. Like, I'm in the parking lot, I'm losing my shit. Like, yo, like, yeah, Jay got on it, boom, boom, like, super pause. And like, that was it, bro. I was like, okay, we did it. And that was the first time my dad was like, my dad's a pastor, so
oh wow.
My first record was Gangsta Love.
Yeah.
Not really a cool title. Then the second record was Which One of You Bitches Like Me by Snoop. Not really a cool title. So it was like, it kept being shit I couldn't really, I was proud of, but I couldn't say, hey
Dad,
Dad, I did Which One of You Bitches Like Me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I couldn't, but this song was like, Dad, I did a song for Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole band, like our whole band. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, I heard it on the Budweiser commercial. And go to church. Yeah, my son did.
Oh, show me what you got.
Yeah, I'm like,
show me what you got.
It's funny because I'm from the church as well,
Mhm.
and I have very, very, very religious parents. So I would love to hear about that being.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Man, so my place was. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't until I recently did caught something on the Drake album. And that's
fire. Congrats.
Thank you, brother.
Big congrats, bro. Big congrats.
That's what that's what I was able to go to my mom and say, all right, well, we got a big one, not just one, but big joint. So I wonder how that was, especially your pastor's kids. So
that's even. I feel like there's a little more on that. Yeah,
up on the level.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the song, it was fire because it was just like, I feel like that was kind of like a stamp, you know what I'm saying, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like they already knew that I was serious about what I was doing, but it was just like, okay, now I could see like the fruits of your labor. Like, okay, now you starting to see like, okay, like this is dope. This Jay-Z. It's the
Pinnacle
one of the biggest rap.
Yeah.
So after that happened, I think like that was like a dope thing. But I feel like, to answer your question, the bittersweet shit was the Chris Brown record, because that was like my biggest record. You know what I'm saying? Like. As a producer, or one of my biggest records as a producer. So producing Take You Down is not also a title that I would want to say that I did this song. So I ain't really even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of was like, yo, I did a song for Chris Brown.
Right.
And then, my mom like would get like my royalty checks and stuff, like get my checks.
Right.
So, it would be always like, oh, you got, like, okay, Mom.
Right.
Oh, you got boom. Like, Lamar. I was like, yeah. She's like, you need to keep working with Chris Brown. I was like, why you say that? You got a check for X amount. I'm like, this is crazy. So that, I feel like that was like the highlight of me, like, you know what I'm saying, being endorsed, like really like them getting, like, I wanted to, I told you, like, you know what I'm saying?
Like I've been telling you.
But it's like, until they see like and I think it's more so about like, you know, having parents like that, you know, that are very spiritual. They always want, of course, the best for you. So it's like they don't want you to be out working and grinding and not having money and you ain't sleeping and doing all this. Like, like you doing all of this and you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't see nothing from it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta be paid, you know? So I think, you know, you can relate to that experience, and I think like it's dope to be able to have those experiences and be able to talk about them, because a lot of people have those backgrounds and a lot of people don't. So they can be able to, you know, have the insight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think that was the best like time to be able to.
And that's so true. Like, you know, is it okay to say how old you are, my brother? Is it okay? He's only 20 years old. So I was with him when he was very young, and I remember when he was like 15, and coming to my crib, and you know, I caught on to him, and I was like, oh, this dude's super talented, and I was like, yo, come on, like, let's start. Like, you know, let's start getting used to the studio and stuff like that. And I remember, you know, he was like, I gotta be home by 9. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that type of shit. And I was like, all right, cool. And I remember, I'm getting there. And long story short, I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I know how his parents are. I came to their house, met them, you know, because he's spending a lot of time with me. And I'm trying to let them know, like, yo, he's in a good home. Like, you know, my mom is cooking for us and, you know, stuff like that. So I was just like, no, he's good. And I remember, I was like, they're not gonna believe until they see, you know, they see something. Absolutely. And I remember one time when we got the placement with Neo and we did the live, and then, dude, next month I took him to LA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just, I'm just glad that you shared that story, because I think there's a lot of kids out there that parents may not, you know, they just think it's a cool hobby and stuff, and they're waiting. Get it. Yeah, they don't get it. Until they see it and stuff like that. So it's just fun to even hear on your level. Like, you already had stuff going on. Like, I mean, this is take you down, and you're still trying to prove, you know, trying to prove yourself to your parents. So I just want to know, like, let a lot of kids know, like, you know, you seek the validation for your parents, but at the same time, just stick to it and just kind of like, you know, just work it out. It'll come in there, and stuff like that. But I really appreciate that story, dog. Like, I really do.
Also, too, my fault. And just cut a little slack, because I've heard a lot of stories of just strained relationships because of that. And at the end of the day, always understand it is them wanting the best for their kid, because it's almost a reflection. How you turn out is a reflection of how you were raised. So I can imagine. And my parents, like, they came to the country. They came to the country very, like, in the 90s. And you know what I mean? So it was like, it's weird for them to see me take that forte when at one point it was like, my dad was 19, trying to get that medallion in New York City, right?
Hard job.
And then driving to Jersey for nursing and all of that shit. So it's easy to dismiss them as well, because they might be a little hard, but also understand if like one of the best things you could have is 2 loving parents to come home. And that's something that a lot of people aren't lucky enough to have.
That's right.
And that's something that just cherish it, especially for sure. If it's on the horizon, man. Yeah. Don't quit. I ain't saying, they said don't do it, so you're not gonna do it. But at the same time, understand that without this, the game is the game, right? Yeah. And people come, people go. We may get our popping record, and then we might not have anywhere else to go. Right. I mean, as long as you have a home to go to.
Foundation.
For sure. That foundation to go to.
What you gonna say?
It's tough. No, I was actually gonna say, since we actually landed on it again, since I called out in the beginning, that was just like a full bomb drop with Take You Down and then Logic. Especially when you were speaking on the musical chairs process that you and the rest of 1500 have. What was that like, specifically when you said that you learned so much, you guys learned so much from each other? What was that experience like producing Take You Down, specifically even in Logic, and just what did you learn as a producer from that like song?
Good question.
I learned, well, the second part of that question, I learned to have your own sounds. So I have my own sounds now. You know what I'm saying? Sound kit, shout out to Band Lab. I got, my own shit, compositions. But more importantly, it was just like learning how to format and learning like the intricacies, so it was a great mistake that happened. So like if you didn't know about the MIDI, or if you don't know about MIDI, if you like playing the keyboard and you playing the sustain and you cut off at a certain part, then if you don't cut off at a certain part before it stops, then the sustain will keep going.
Right.
So I didn't know how to get to the edit menu, none of that shit. I didn't even know why it was still sustaining.
Right.
So that ended up being like one of the fire parts in the song.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want to go bother these niggas because I'm trying to figure it out. So it was like, I'm not finna go bother them to go, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, let me just let the sound die out for like 2 bars.
Right.
And then I just paste everything after that.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it was like, of course now I know what to do. But then it was like, what are you gonna do? Like, how am I gonna finish the song?
Right. And
if
you
I didn't finish the song, or if I'd just been like, there goes Take You Down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was just me experimenting, and I'm like learning the sounds. I don't know what sounds I'm using. I'm just going through
patches
and just doing shit. Yeah. Right. But I know what I hear, so I'm going to as close as possible.
Right.
You know, so no EQ, none of that shit. Like my version was very like, you know, before it got to A and Harvey and, you know, Ruben and, you know what I'm saying? Damon and everybody, you know, mixing and putting their shit on it in post-production. Right. But, you know, drums, flat, everything
just straight up just production, dog.
Were those intro keys, were those a stock Logic plugin or was that wow.
That was the what is it called? The MK88 something like that.
Yes, I can see it right now.
Yeah.
Like
I haven't used Logic in a while, but
like you remember
a little black,
And I can imagine at the time, I love that you emphasized on having your own sounds because you were producing at a time where the YouTube remakes. So imagine hearing your hit record that you made, and you're like, "Yo, this nigga made it to the T. I didn't drop the instrumental." Like,
Facts,
super dope. So now I want to shift over to present day, and something we've seen in your teammate James very recently, but you've been on it for a while, and that's stepping into your artistry. I would love to know how you balance being an artist and also being a sought after producer, man.
Yeah, for sure.
My mind, I'm trying to filter the things on my mind. Amber knows I'm crazy. So I was about to just be like, I quit. But it's like, I think the great thing is like being blessed enough to be able to only work with people I wanted to work with.
Right.
Like my whole career. So that's never been something that like has bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more turned off by people like, yo, you want to work on Beyonce and Rihanna? And it's like, that is like, it vexed my spirit because it's like, I don't want to do something that a million people are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like now, if it's like, yo, I got Beyonce on the phone. Like, she want to come to the studio. That's a different conversation.
Right.
But I would rather be, you know, building my own legacy and like doing the shit that all the artists don't want to listen to.
Right. Understood.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you know, I said this the other day on the R&B Money podcast. It's like, you can't not give the information just because people don't want the information.
Right.
There's more people that want it that you just don't know.
Exactly. For sure.
What I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I had to get to a point where like we all have responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? If we feeding the information, responsible for the next generation and our culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that was just kind of like one of the things. I just started thinking about the James shit that he was saying. But going back to the James thing, like how that happened was just like when you going back to my being a producer.
Right.
When you know how to construct a song and you know how to write a song, and you're enlisted as a producer to work with certain artists, or you're paid to work with certain artists, and it's like you just paid to just do what you're doing.
Right.
You know they're not paying you for your expertise. I don't want to hear like
do what
if this is fire.
Right.
I just want the beat. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those sessions just again vex my spirit because it's like
it kind of keeps
not fire. And then at that point it's like I'm not compromising no more. Now I don't want to, and it's like makes it hard because it's like I don't want to work with independent. I can't say I don't want to work with independent artists. Right. Just because these 10 don't want to listen or like I got it figured out. I want you to do me and Take You Down. Like, bro, you coming in 15 years late. Like, you know what I'm saying? You trying to chase the sound that was already like you should do your own sound.
Right.
Like,
let's do something new, fresh.
So I think like that pushed me more into like seeing all the things that I ask of different artists and all of the different things that, you know what I'm saying, like I would expect in an artist. And I just start kind of like putting that pressure on myself. And I think, you know, that's the dope thing. So it's easy for me to have the million beats that I have and like be able to, you know, kind of, you want some R&B shit, you want some pop shit? Because I already had like workflow of doing that.
Got you.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna spend 1 week of doing 60 shit. One week of doing 70 shit. 1 week of doing 80 shit. One week of R&B, pop, country, alternative. Like, so anytime somebody hit me, I got something close to whatever.
Right. Or at least you got a bunch of like skeleton kind of fundamental
exactly. References,
sonics.
Ideas, something in the range. Like, something like that. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Opposed to just not being ready, you got to cook everything from scratch.
That's actually a great, I'm not going to lie, from a producer standpoint, like that's like a great idea because in the back of my mind, I say, okay, at the end of the day, the fundamentals of music are the fundamentals of music, right? Like we have the 60s, 70s, 80s, the 90s, even the 2000s as a sound reference. So in my head, and I just want to make sure I stamp this part, is like you can say, okay, I'm going to be on my 2000 shit right now.
Exactly.
And make a bunch of stuff like that. And maybe the one artist will be like, yo, I like that. And you'll be like, okay, good. So we found a car. Like, this is the car we're going to do. Let's go down that road and let's figure out how we can modernize this or make it yours. That's actually a great, like, no cap. Like, that's why I wanted to stop right there. That's actually a good thing to use.
Absolutely, man. I mean, y'all got anything else, man?
No, I just wanted to stamp right there. I was about to say, I was like, I'm super good on that. But,
what you got next, bro?
Yeah, like, what you got coming up?
You dropping heavy.
Yeah, I'm just dropping music. I have a project I'm about to release. I just dropped my single, Too Selfish. Single and video is out. And you can find that just MYGUYMARS, Too Selfish.
Right.
My Instagram, MYGUYMARS, MYGUYMARS.com. My wine is loveandvibe.com.
Wow.
And my candles are loveflames.co.
Got you. Wow. Okay. Shout out to you. Just dipping into other stuff. That's on brand for you.
I'm sorry. We didn't even talk about this. The shows, the jam sessions.
Yeah, After Church LA.
Yes, sir.
After Church LA is open mic concert series I do out here. It's more of a pop-up now until we find the right venue. But DM After Church LA or myself. And
figure it out from there, and that's it. Man, I appreciate that, man. I'm not gonna lie, candles and wine is so on brand for you, dog. Because you're very smooth, you're very laid back. I feel like that fits you. Like I'm copping. Like
I forgot my glasses. I forgot I got them on.
Oh yeah,
New Vintage as well. Shout out New Vintage. New Vintage. We make glasses like these. Have like you've seen on myself or Snoop Dogg.
Nice.
And yeah, we got a gang of different styles, black owned. Everything, my cannabis, everything that I'm doing is black owned because I'm black.
That's right. I was gonna say, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. When you came with the shades, I was like, damn, shit's hard. I'm gonna ask him after.
Yeah,
I'm gonna figure it out. Like, yo, bro, damn, those are hard. Like, you know how men compliment each other, but really, I'm like, yo, where you get that, bro? Like, no, I appreciate that, man. You know, Mars, I really appreciate it, man, and I really, just thank you for your time, bro.
Appreciate y'all, man. I love what y'all doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot when we get like producers of your caliber to just come on and just to chop it up with us. And obviously, you could tell like we just want information. We just want to talk to you and just like we just want to understand things and like your workflows and stuff like that. So I hope you had fun on the podcast. One time, make some noise for Mars, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This has been the My Audio Nerds podcast for audio nerds like yourself. Please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Also, remember, one lucky person in that comment section is going to get that VIP Rosetta EQ or compressor. Leave your @name on Instagram so that we can actually DM you and tell you won. This has been the My Audio Nerds podcast. Until next time.
I got a channel, by the way.
You do have a channel.
That's all.
My fault.
That's all. Just subscribe.
What's your site for your kits and stuff like that too?
If you want some drum kits, if you want some hard loops and shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
LJ'sarchive.com. You see, I'm forgetting.
I know you forget your own self. I feel you.
LJ'sarchive.com. And we got a new pack that's hard. It's called Sorry to Bother You, Volume 1. So yeah, go get that.
Say less. Right. And we out of here, My Audio Nerds podcast. Until next time, y'all.